Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Friends, this Saturday, 9th September 2023, we'll be looking at the Bhumija Sutta from the Majjhima Nikaya. Bhumija is the name of the monk. When Venerable Bhumija went to Prince Jayasena's house for alms, the prince asked a question from the monk. Now, this is the question. Some recluses say that if someone makes an aspiration, that is a wish, while leading the holy life, he cannot attain it. He cannot get what he wished for. And if one makes no wish while leading a holy life, still he cannot gain anything. If one makes an aspiration and makes no aspiration, still she or he cannot gain anything. If one neither makes a wish nor makes no wish, he cannot gain anything. Now, there are four things that Prince Jayasena says about monks, and they cannot wish for things and then get what they want, although they lead the holy life. So the prince asked Venerable Bhumija what the Buddha teaches on this subject of making aspirations or wishes. Venerable Bhumija told him that the Buddha had not specially talked about this subject, but he may say, if one leads the holy life unwisely, now remember the word unwisely, any wish he makes may not bring fruit. But if he leads the holy life wisely, his aspiration or his wish may gain fruit or be fulfilled. In worldly or spiritual things, whether one lives wisely or not obtaining the fruit is not dependent on the aspiration. It depends on how one lives the holy life. In Buddhism, we must put in the correct ingredients to get the result. This is something we fail to understand, that this is the basic law of cause and effect. Though one of the conditions is to make a wish and having a sense of our goal, that's not enough. After returning to the vihara, Venerable Bhumija met the Buddha and asked if his explanation was in keeping with the Buddha's teaching. The Buddha approved it and added that if one followed the Noble Eightfold Path, whether one makes a wish or not, she or he would reap the benefits. Now, can you see that? It's not exactly necessary to make a wish for things to happen if we do good things. Buddha gave four similes to explain it further. Now, this is the first one. If someone needing oil were to add gravel is soil and water in a tub and press it, he would never get oil. For his action and method are wrong. Now the second simile is this. Someone needing milk were to pull a cow's horn, he would never get milk. Someone needing butter were to put water into a vessel and churn it with a ladle, would never get butter. Someone needing a fire were to rub two wet sticks together, he could not produce a fire. Now these are the four similes Buddha gave. One is about, the first one is about oil. Then second one is about milk, yes. And the third one is about butter. And the fourth one is about fire. Now, but Buddha says, if these people use the right ingredients and method, they would be successful. Similarly, in spiritual matters too, if one uses the right method and the right ingredients, whether one makes a wish or not, the result would come. The right view is following the Noble Eightfold Path. This question can be discussed in many ways. Is the aspiration spiritual or mundane? That is, a spiritual wish would be wanting to attain stream entry, that is Sotapanna, or any of the higher paths, Sakadagami, Anagami, etc. Or even to be able to concentrate quickly. Or wish, may my mind not wander. The mundane wish would be, may I be peaceful and calm, or may I be able to control my anger, lust, greed, craving, conceit, or the hindrances, etc. Now, these are the two kinds, mundane and spiritual. Our world, that is, each person's world, is governed by one's perception and our attitudes, actions, and in fact, our whole existence is influenced by the way we interpret the world. This view may be wrong or right. If our view is wrong, it will lead us to suffering. But if our view is right, it will lead us to right action and freedom from suffering. What is meant by unwisely leading the holy life? That is to follow the Noble Eightfold Path unwisely. First factor is view. Wrong view is when one thinks that there are no consequences or results for one's actions. Such a person may not be careful about his or her actions in three ways, that is, by body, speech, and mind. One may think that everything is predetermined and therefore cannot be changed. The caste system is an example. When one is born into a certain caste, one cannot change it. And one's position in society and even one's duties in the world are governed by that caste. If born into poverty or in a lowly caste, one can rarely become wealthy. Some believe that everything happens without any cause. The Buddha says this belief is very harmful, for it takes away the need to be responsible for your actions. Another wrong view is that by worshipping gods and offering sacrifices, one would be reborn in heavenly realms. Here, one is depending on an outside power to redeem you, so one does not make any effort to change one's habits, behavior, and views. One does not understand karma or karma vipaka. Vipaka means consequences, results. And that craving may bring sorrow. Thinking that the unsatisfactoriness of life is due to God's curse, one is stuck in the mud of wrong belief. Mundane right view involves a correct knowledge of karma, that is volitional action. So, karma is a mental factor that operates through body, speech, and mind. Right view means knowing what karma is wholesome and what is unwholesome. Unwholesome karma is immoral, lacking spiritual development, and brings suffering to oneself and others. Wholesome karma is the opposite of this. The 10 causes of unwholesome karma are 3 bodily actions, that is, killing, stealing, and wrong use of sense pleasures. Co-verbal, that is, lying, slandering, harsh speech, and idle chatter. 3 mental actions are covetousness, ill will, and wrong view. The 10 causes of wholesome karma are the opposites of these. Actions are termed wholesome or unwholesome according to their roots or underlying tendencies. They are called anusaya in Pali. Unwholesome roots arise from greed, aversion, and delusion. Wholesome roots arise from their opposites, that is, renunciation, detachment, generosity, loving kindness, sympathy, gentleness, and wisdom. Though the results of karma does not happen within one existence, when the right conditions happen, they can give their good or bad vipaka, results. We cannot say it will not happen in this life. We cannot say it will not happen in the next life. It may happen at any time. See, so we can't be sure when it will happen, but we can be sure it will happen. When one has this kind of view, it's known as right view. The second factor in the Noble Eightfold Path is right intention or sankappa. It's called sankappa in Pali. The Buddha explains that Right intention means renunciation, goodwill, and harmlessness. Wrong intention supports desire, ill will, and harmfulness. All actions depend on thoughts. You see, we never think about that. All actions depend on thoughts. Those who have no regard for morality and has wrong thought give rise to unwholesome actions and will use any method to acquire gain, status, wealth, position, and power without any thought of the consequences. You can see it in politics, isn't that so? The endless competition, conflict, wars, injustice, and oppression comes from a mind, one mind maybe, filled with greed, hatred, and ignorance. One who believes in right view and the law of karma will use lawful and peaceful ways of earning, etc., and thus bring happiness to oneself and to others. Thoughts of renunciation arise from the wholesome root of non-greed and goodwill and harmlessness, so that aversion falls away. Talking of renunciation, one does not need to leave the household life for monastic life, but eradication of craving helps to progress in the path. At this point, one sees a strong inner resistance. When you want to give up certain things in which you are, which you have been using and being attached to, maybe even people or things, a strong resistance from the mind comes there. The mind does not want to let go of the objects one is attached to. One way is to see this desire correctly, seeing impermanence, and that desire does not give happiness. You have to let go and then see how happy you could be. This wise thought is called yoniso manasikara. We should look at the hidden underlying motivation when we are faced with ayoniso manasikara. According to the Buddha, it's not only one's spiritual life that has to be followed, but also one's way of life in the world. How to become a better and skillful person and be able to cope with life better and be successful in life. Develop mindfulness. Be capable of dealing with difficulties. Now we come to the next one: right speech, right action, and right livelihood form the moral aspect of the Noble Eightfold Path. Following the precepts, one not only purifies the bodily and verbal actions, but also the mind. Sila helps. Sila is morality or virtue. Sila helps to balance social, psychological, karmic, and personal issues. Each precept, I'm talking of the 5 precepts. Each precept avoids the unwholesome and develops the wholesome. You see, when you say wear money, that means the negative side. But the positive side is you do good things instead of the bad thing that you let go of. Right speech means avoiding false speech, slander, harsh speech, idle chatter, rousing hatred and anger among people. Speech can break lives, relationships, create enemies, and even start wars. Or positively, the positive side now is to give wisdom, heal divisions, and create peace. The root of harsh speech is aversion. But as it comes impulsively, the comic result is less serious than slander. Slander is after thinking about something and, in your mind, creating a certain atmosphere to come out with it, then you do it. So that is why slander is more, dangerous. The ideal way to deal with harsh speech is patience. That is, learn to tolerate others' criticism or blame. Respect differences of opinion and even tolerate abuse. To abstain from idle chatter, one must see that one's speech is not of much use to oneself and others. Many people go on talking and talking and talking without thinking. That is why they, do not stop the idle chatter. Modern communication through television, radio, newspapers, journals, cinema, etc., gives useless information, making the listener passive and confused. Right action means refraining from killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. As all beings love their lives and fear death, killing any living being is unskillful. The opposite of killing is kindness and compassion. Taking what is not given means stealing others' possessions with deceit. For example, housebreaking or pickpocketing. Now, these are, normal things, but then there are many, many other ways of deceit. Isn't that so? Robbery is taking by force. False weights and measures in shops also fall into the same category. Though greed is the main cause for theft, hatred too could make someone deprive another of his or her belongings. The opposite is honesty in dealing with others, being content with what one has, and developing generosity, giving one's own possessions to benefit others. Abstaining from sexual misconduct can be interpreted as protecting marital relations from outside interference. Celibacy is an important condition for monks and nuns in Buddhism. This creates a holy life of purity in thought, word, and deed. Marital devotion and loyalty is essential for a family to grow in confidence and trust, especially where there are children. I have seen many families where the children are abandoned. Right livelihood for a layperson means gaining wealth righteously, without violence or deceit. Buddha mentions 5 ways of causing harm. Dealing with weapons is one. Dealing in living beings, like breeding animals for slaughter, and slave trade. Even today it is there still, though it is not on the surface. And prostitution, meat production, poison, and intoxicants. Other means like practicing soothsaying, trickery, lending money is prohibited for monastics. Also, one should fulfill one's duties at your workplace without idling or going late for work. An employer should assign work that the employee can do and pay accordingly. In business transactions, one should be honest. Right effort is important in both mundane and spiritual matters. One who practices ordinary, wholesome states of mind would gather merit that would take him or her within the round of rebirth again and again, going through samsara. The Buddha points out the path to transform the defiled mind into one of wisdom, a liberated mind. Constant effort is needed. Though it's not easy, it's not impossible. The Buddha and his disciples showed that putting forth effort could bring about the necessary result, that is, liberation. Effort is shown as 4 processes. Now, the first one is to prevent the arising of unarisen, unwholesome states, to prevent this kind of thing being coming into the mind. Second is to abandon unwholesome states that have already arisen. You know, we can, all of us can have defilements in our mind. So it is necessary to get rid of them. Then the third one, to arouse wholesome states that have not yet arisen. Then the fourth is to maintain and perfect wholesome states already arisen. Now we come to right mindfulness. Right mindfulness is this: the ultimate truth in our own experience. That is right mindfulness, the ultimate truth. If we can experience it, it has to be known by insight. This is possible through sati, translated as mindfulness. Mindfulness is seeing what's happening now without attachment. The mind is trained to be in the present, open, alert, without getting distracted by thoughts. Mindfulness simply notes what's happening as it arises, stays a little while, and passes away. When mindful, our mind cannot go to the past or the future. Chattaro Satipatthana. You must have heard of that in the Satipatthana Sutta. Chattaro Satipatthana. Or the 4 foundations of mindfulness. That is about the body, feelings, states of mind, and phenomena. Phenomena means the mental facts that are there which give rise to thoughts and views. Are practice of right mindfulness. Wrong mindfulness is when a thief or murderer lies waiting for the victim without movement, or an animal lies in wait for its prey. Right concentration, known as samadhi, is wholesome. One-pointedness of mind, where all the mental factors are well centered. As the untrained mind wanders, concentration cannot be attained at once, because we have been doing it for, many thousands of births, you see, so it's not easy. The posture must be correct when we are, sitting down for meditation. And then focus the mind on the breath, well fixed and alert. If it strays, gently bring it back. Don't force, don't be angry. Just gently bring it back. This is called parikkamma samadhi. When the mind is settling down, the 5 hindrances may turn up. With patience and effort, they can be overcome. You know the 5 hindrances, isn't that so? I don't have to go back to that. Kamacchanda, Vyapada, Thinamidda, and so on, the 5 hindrances. So, now as one strives, 5 mental factors come or arise. They are called the jhana. These are vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekaggata. Now, that means the first one is vitakka, initial application of mind, directs the mind to the object. Can you see? That is why it's called vitakka. It is the first attempt of the mind to concentrate. Then the second one, sustained application or vichara of mind, anchors the mind on the object. Now that is, it holds the second jhana factor, holds the object in the mind. Then piti is the rapture. Now the mind is happy. So piti is rapture. Then comes sukha, rapture is the delight and joy, right? Then comes the sukha, that is the happiness. That is the 4th factor, is a pleasant feeling. You are happy that you have been able to concentrate. Then, at a successful concentration, you feel happy, right? The 5th factor is absorption, the final one, which unifies the mind and the object. So now that's all for today. So at the end of this sutta, Venerable Bhumija was highly pleased. But if you read the Bhumija Sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya, you won't find all these details in the sutta. I included all these because I thought you would be interested in knowing how to, get the explanation for these things that are given there. Because Buddha does not give long explanations of them. But you find them in many other suttas. So now that is all for the sutta. Do you have any questions on that? How about a little meditation now? Seated quietly and silently. So now straighten your back and gently close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Now feel the breath coming in and going out. Feel it. There is a rhythm to it. Feel that. And now come to the present moment, what we have been talking about, right? Be in this moment. Let go of the past and the future. Now bring your feeling to the body, accepting it as it is. You know, your body in whatever way it is, whether it's painful or whether it is giving you happiness or whether it's giving you comfort or whatever. Just be happy with what you have. Accept it with kindness. Whatever sensations and feelings the body gives you, just accept them as they are. Breathe in deeply with a sense of trust and well-being in yourself. Breathe out, letting go of tensions, allowing any tightness or any kind of negative feeling that you have, let them go. Now concentrate only on the breathing, the internal breathing in and out, in and out. Now imagine that you are surrounded by light, by a light. Now as you are in this sensation of breathing in and out, now draw this light that we imagine is in outside into your body. Make it go inside. Now that means you are being very happy. And maybe inside the body, in the nostrils, in the heart, in the head, the face, all over, right? Imagine that the light has gone inside. Now, think to yourself. Don't say anything. Think to yourself, may this being be well. This being, you are not saying I. May this being be well. May this being be calm, tranquil. Now let that calmness cover the whole body. May it, cover the whole body. Now you can explore the body, from the head, top of the head, to the toes, head, face, neck, chest, back, the arms, the fingers, the legs, and go down to the toes. Now let go of all the memories, the grudges that you have been holding against people, the grievances. Let go of all those things. Now begin again with each breath. Each breath, so that it is very pure. The breath is very pure. Now, this is a sense of forgiveness for everything, to yourself as well as to others, whoever has harmed you in any way. With compassion and gentleness. Again think, may this being be well. Now you have thought of yourself, right? Now we'll think about others too, like parents, teachers, friends, all kinds of people that are near and dear to you. May you think all of them to be the same as you, right? That is, be at peace, be happy, be calm. May all my parents, my friends, my teachers, my colleagues, everyone, right? Now think like that. May you be well. That's how you think. May you be well. You can even think of how your parents looked after you when you were small. So bringing back sweet memories, right? So now, even towards people that have harmed you, who have been indifferent to you, who have been unfriendly, may all of them be happy. May all of them be safe. May all beings be well. And even if you know someone who is having a difficult time now, think of that person and send good thoughts to that person. May that person be well. Now, little by little, go right across into the world, and may all beings in the world be safe, be calm, be happy, and be friendly with each other. Now think in these ways about the light that you have. Spread it across the whole world. May the whole world be covered with the light that you are sending. This is the metta light. Metta. How beautiful it is. Now Slowly you can open your eyes and come back to where you are and see how calm and gentle you have become. So if you have any questions even now, please ask. If you have no questions, then we'll close.